Update 11 is coming. Steve just had his birthday. His office is a little bit of a disarray. And here we come. Oh, and Goose left.
He's scared of explaining it all. He was running. He was going to come back.
What's happening in Update 11?
Well, the Codex system, where you can go and take scans of enemies and of objects and learn a lot more about the world. So you get this new gear item, and actually part of that is we have hotkey binding now for the gear items that people have been asking for. You get this gear item, and it can take a certain number of scans, and then you go through and you can, if you're sneaky and you're using stealth, you get a lot more benefit from using it. But you can scan dudes and hack them up, and you get XP for it, and unlocks things in your Codex. It also shows you all the weapons, so you can kind of get a preview of all the Warframes and all the weapons. So that's a lot of information in the game being revealed. I think a certain group of people is really anxious to see what certain enemy types drop, and that's one of the things that's useful about using the scanner on those enemy types.
Mm-hmm. There's Ember Prime coming.
Yep.
There's Glaive Prime. I think Sheldon let out of the bag that it's Sycora's Prime.
Yeah.
I believe that's it for Prime gear.
Resource drone, which I saw polish being worked on. You'd be able to craft this drone that you can, in the star chart, deploy to harvest resources for you while you're not playing, and you can come back, and there's a bit of risk reward there. So if you're deploying it out in like more lucrative areas, there's a chance it could get damaged. You might have to rebuild it. We've got a new map mode. There's a bunch of really interesting UI improvements. You'll be able to pull up a full screen map now, which makes navigating the dojo a lot easier, because people have built like really elaborate, awesome dojos. You have your trading post in your dojo. You invite your buddy in there, and then the trade interface pops up, and you can exchange goods. There's that. We've got the new boss.
Bosses. Yep.
Plural.
Yep.
So update 10 we did one boss. Update 11 do two.
Two bosses.
Two bosses. The thing that we're really hammering on right now is the new damage system, which is going to be quite an interesting experiment with everyone. Where we break down all of the physical damage into aspects of puncturing and impact and slashing damage, so that there's a lot of differentiation between the weapons and a lot of differentiation between how the enemies resist that. We realized we didn't just want to tweak the armor off of enemies. We wanted to say, okay, if we're going to change this, let's make a system that we think is going to last for years. So we really spent a lot more time on that. We're running a new event with it that's kind of an expansion on the Gradivus Dilemma.
The event basically will kick off as the hunt for Alad V. Alad V will be dropping the Berserker Warframe. So once located, then players will be able to farm him for the parts required to build her.
She's sort of like a reject from the Zanuka program that he's
I don't know if reject's the right word.
Reject, or
escapee.
More like escapee, I think. Yeah.
Do you want to say what her powers are?
I think my favorite power for her is her grapple hook, which is still being named a proper name. It will show up in the game as one of her first power, which I think the additions to the grapple hook, which is it now works on enemies, and you can pull apart enemies and pull them across the environment, is quite entertainingly fun. She's got a team buff that I'm currently calling Intimidate, and that's basically a team melee speed buff plus an armor buff. And then there's also, part of that is a radial debuff of enemy speed, so that the difference between your melee attack speed and their movement speed is accentuated and allows you to take care of them quicker. Her ultimate is the energy claws that she summons that are basically a melee weapon that is for her only, and goes into a rage and pulls out these wicked energy claws and destroys everything around her. The event, you will be offered battle pay in exchange for your time and effort to clear out the infested from Jupiter. Doing this will reveal the gas city, and eventually the players will hunt down Alad V and be able to take him down. What's really cool, I don't even know if I should give this away, but when you attack him, the things he says to you they reflect what side in the battle you picked. So there's a real responsiveness to how the players participate in that event, personally and globally, the consequences. So, and it's scratching the surface of what is possible.